Hi everyone, this is Social Change, lecture number 7, which accompanies the reading by Ritzer, chapter 5, Irrationality of Rationality. Let's start. Although McDonaldization has swept the world over due to its increased efficiency, predictability, calculability, and control, it also has some serious problems. And it can be seen as leading to inefficiency, unpredictability, incalculability, as well as loss of control. Other irrationalities include false friendliness, excessive high costs, health and environmental damages, and of course, homogenization. Furthermore, irrationality also means disenchantment, loss of magic and mystery. And further, McDonaldized systems can be quite dehumanizing to people working for them or those of us using them. So, inefficiency, long lines at the checkout. While fast food restaurants think that they're very efficient, they're actually not so fast in reality, since you often have to stand in lines, either by the counter or at the drive-thru. And with continued emphasis on speed, accuracy suffers, meaning that there are more orders with mistakes. And often customers are forced to do unpaid work. And meals cooked at home might be far more efficient, but propaganda has you thinking otherwise. Important thing to remember is that although McDonaldization brings more efficiency, we are never told for whom the system is truly efficient, for customers or those pushing the system. It is definitely not more efficient for those working at or near the bottom of the system. High costs, that's another issue. Efficiency of McDonaldization does not ordinarily save us consumers money, rather makes those at the top more money. And there's this example that Ritzer talks about where one gentleman is talking about the Disney World and how much actually does it cost to go to the Disney World. False friendliness. That's another issue with McDonaldization. Although employees often greet customers with niceties, they often don't care how we are actually doing. It's a polite way of saying, get lost, next customer. Think about personally addressed junk mail or email, right? That is supposed to create illusion of intimacy when in fact it is actually disregarding it. And I included 2 little cute pictures about email and junk email. Disenchantment. So where's the magic? Max Weber argued that due to the spread of rationalization and bureaucracy, we are living in a disenchanted world. Instead of enchantment, magic, and mystery, we have a world of clarity, cut and dried facts, logic, and routine. And although we have gained much from this rationalization, we also lost something of great, if hard to define, value. And it's important to note that magic cannot be calculated, predicted, controlled, and it cannot be made efficient. So there's no place for it in this very rationalized world. Furthermore, there are health and environmental hazards. Progressive rationalization has threatened not only the magic aspect of our lives, but also our health. Fast food, of course, has a lot of fat, cholesterol, salt, and sugar, and it's the last thing that we really need. It is causing an obesity epidemic among adults and kids. Further, fast food industry spends billions trying to persuade us to eat their food, and we know that this kind of food is addictive. But this food is everywhere, and we are constantly bombarded with information that we should eat anytime and any place. Nowadays, I don't know if you noticed, there's this commercial on TV that if you buy 1 Big Mac, you get another one for free. And when we listen, this leads to escalating health problems, diabetes, and this is happening not only here, but all over the world. Furthermore, fast food creates poor eating habit in kids, who later grow up to be unhealthy adults. And the interesting fact here is that health of immigrant kids deteriorates the longer they are in the United States, largely due to the changing diet. So let's talk more about these health and environmental hazards. Although many franchises have been forced to include better eating options, such as salads, the dressings for these salads are often loaded with salt and fat. And although they have been forced to include nutritional information, such info is often hidden and/or unavailable. And trend towards larger portions isn't helping either. And this is of course tied to larger than recommended calorie intake. Because one meal at McDonald's pretty much takes care of all your calorie needed for a day. And there's an interesting fact about how McDonald's oatmeal has actually more calories than a Snickers bar. Due to increased meat production and environment in which chickens are raised, treated, killed, and processed, this has led to serious outbreaks of Salmonella and E. coli. Environmental issues are also tied to McDonaldization. Enormous increase in meat production leads to land degradation, climate change, water and air pollution, water shortage, and decline in biodiversity. Not to even mention the huge amounts of manure that in the end find their way to our waterways and our drinking water, which leads, of course, to people becoming sick. And trash. Fast food industry produces enormous amounts of trash. We have islands of trash in the oceans, contributing to global warming, destruction of the ozone layer, depletion of natural resources, and of course, destruction of natural habitat. Another problem is homogenization. So everything is the same product, same services. Even small restaurant owners are applying principles of McDonaldization to their businesses. Because of that, we have less and less diversity, and it seems that our human craving for new and diverse experiences is being limited, if not even eradicated. Things like online consumption sites and mail order catalogs destroy temporal and seasonal differences because now you can get Christmas magazines already in September. So I included two little pictures of how we have the same stores and we buy the same stuff no matter where we actually are. Another big problem is dehumanization. So McDonaldization is also quite dehumanizing. Mac jobs are easy but uncreative. Workers can only use a small portion of their skills and abilities. These jobs often don't offer any satisfaction or stability, and therefore they have a very high turnover rate. This leads, of course, to absenteeism and tardiness, and work itself is very alienating. This also means that the system of doing things is costly because it costs more to hire and train a new worker than keep an old one. Since conditions of work often leave a lot to be desired, there's a high injury rate, and often those injuries actually go unreported. Fast food restaurants also dehumanizes consumers. We are reduced to automatons like robots rushing through assembly line of restaurant. We're just numbers. Even when interactions actually do occur, they're fleeting at best. And even when they exist, they're very scripted. And then it even spreads to our homes. So fast food restaurants negatively affect our family. Think about the family meal, which is disappearing. The fact that, at some point in time, you used to sit down at dinner and discuss events of the day. This decline of family meal creates ready-made customers for fast food places. And even when we do have dinner together, we don't talk to each other. Rather, we watch TV, play games, tweet, talk on phones, etc. And multitasking, we're trying to be multitasking to be more efficient, right? Microwave also helped to destroy the family dinner. Its emphasis on speed brought lower quality of food, and with wide variety of microwavable meals, family members can now eat at different places and times. So kitchen becomes nothing more than a filling station where we stop by to fuel up for the day. And this is important since you guys are in college, so higher education. Modern university is McDonaldized because, because you can see how it is, right? The emphasis on grades and test scores and so on. It's also highly inefficient place. Students increasingly relate to professors as if they were workers in the fast food industry. If service isn't up to their standards, students can complain and leave the class. Education itself can be dehumanizing. Think about large dorms, huge lecture halls, large classes, which make getting to know other students and professors very hard. Grades come from multiple choice and standardized tests, and results are posted on Blackboard. Further contact is being limited by advances of online education. This is what's happening to you and me, right? And online course taking. And where human teachers do remain, they're less likely to be tenured professors and more likely to be part-time employees who are treated as disposable service workers by university and students. And CUNY, 80% of classes are taught by adjuncts like me. Even in healthcare, we can see McDonaldization. So in McDonaldized society, we see a shift in control away from the physician toward rationalized structures and institutions, which lead to physicians' jobs dissatisfaction and alienation. Patients are nothing more than a number. We no longer have personal relationships with doctors. And the ultimate irrationality of this is that we see unanticipated consequences of the decline in quality of medical practices and deterioration in health of the patients. And the last point here is that even death becomes dehumanized. People are now more likely to die as they were born, impersonally in presence of total strangers. Not to mention that technologies have blurred the line between life and death by keeping people's hearts beating even when their brains are no longer active. So, my final point is McDonaldization. Can we escape it? As you can see, I included a picture where we have all these McDonald's all over the world. But think about whether we can escape it personally. Is there anything you and I, can do to escape McDonaldization in our private life? All right, this is where I'm going to leave you guys.